Okay, we need to go to Campo San Maria, I think is what it was. But first I want to see if we can skip a step. Okay, so this whole article is talking about how to pick locks. And we're gonna have to pick a lock to get into Fango's office. And to do that, we're going to need bobby pins. Oh, shoot. Okay. First, we have to talk to Prudence.
Hello?
Hello, is this Nancy?
Miss Rutherford, yes, it's Nancy. How are you?
Well, to be honest, I'm rather peeved. Were you or were you not to call me
Oops.
just as soon as you were settled in there at the car?
I'm sorry, I should have called, but I've been very busy.
And I've been very worried. I was afraid Margarita had allowed my beloved kindness ghost to fall into such a state of disrepair that it was no longer habitable.
Oh, no, the car is fine.
Oh, that's a relief. So, how goes the case? Captain Brassica said he was going to send you a parcel. Has it arrived?
Yes, it sure has.
Good. The sooner you get to work, the better. I talked you up quite a bit, you know. Both the GDIF and the local gendarmerie are expecting great things from you. As am I. No one wants this phantom scoundrel captured more than I do.
I'm flattered, Miss Rutherford, and I'll do my best. But it's not like I'm a superhero or anything. Like I told you, I just like solving mysteries.
Just see that you solve this one in a timely fashion, dear. We leave on a cruise in 2 weeks, and I shan't be able to enjoy a second of it until I know all those stolen works of art have been recovered.
I get the feeling Margarita's not real happy about my staying here at the car.
That is just tough tiddlywinks. Putting you up is the least she can do for me after all I've done for her.
Just what have you done for her?
I made the mistake of helping her pay for some of the repairs that reared their ugly little heads after I sold her the car. I did so not because of any legal obligation, but because of my abiding affection for the place and all things Venetian. She is such a cheapskate. I feared she would ignore what had to be done until the car crumbled into ruins.
How did she get to be such a cheapskate?
When her husband died, he left Margarita everything, which amounted to a small fortune. What he didn't leave her, however, was even the slightest clue as to what to do with it. And now, after years of bad investments and wasteful spending, she's starting to feel the pinch. But I'm afraid it's my erstwhile residence there in Venezia that must pay the price for her fiscal ineptitude.
I'll let you get back to whatever it is you're doing.
As it happens, I'm writing my memoirs. They shall be called The Principles of Prudence. Unfortunately, this has necessitated my hiring an assistant. You really must stop thinking bad thoughts about Ginger. Yes, you are. Just look how she's shaking. The other day, poor Ginger mistook the shapeless lump of leather my assistant called her purse for a doggy toy and ripped it to shreds. She's still a bit perturbed. Although, believe you me, Ginger did her a massive favor. Anyway, if you ever cannot reach me, it means we are hard at work. Bonne chance!
Might as well talk to Ned, too. He did give Nancy a really nice locket, after all.
Hello?
Hi, Ned. Or should I say, buongiorno.
Hey, Nance. I was hoping you'd call.
Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. Sort of. I mean, I'm in Bayport, staying at Frank and Joe's, just like you arranged.
You sound funny. What's wrong?
My research is going great. It's just that, well, in order to get over to the hospital library, I've been having to take the bus.
What happened to your car?
Joe happened to my car.
Oh, no. He's been tinkering with it?
If by tinkering you mean disassembling the engine and possibly the transmission and strewing the parts all over that closet in the basement he calls his workshop, yes, he's been tinkering with it.
Ned, I told you. I said whatever you do, don't let Joe do any tinkering.
I didn't know that's what you meant. He said he knew exactly how to fix that funny noise my car's been making, so I said great. I thought he knew what he was doing.
He does know what he's doing. It's just going to take him like half a century to do it. But hey, you're taking mass transit. That's good.
Yeah, I know. I'm fine. And I'm sure my car will be fine too. So how's it going there?
Hey, before I forget, thanks again for the locket. I haven't taken it off since you put it on me there at the airport.
Good. That was kind of the idea. I just wanted you to have a little reminder of home. Well, more specifically, of me.
I don't need any reminders, Ned, but thank you. It really is beautiful. Even the guy I sat next to on the plane over here who played solitaire the whole way liked it.
It passed the semi-neurotic but otherwise thoroughly impartial geek test? Yes.
The palazzo where I'm staying, the Ca Nascosta, has some beautiful artwork in it, some of which is being restored by this guy from England, who's kind of a head case.
A head case? How so?
He's your typical temperamental artist, very sensitive. You have to be real careful what you say and do around him or he'll go off on you. And he forces everyone who talks to him to watch the slideshow on mosaic tiles that is boring beyond belief.
And your point is...
Maybe he's deliberately making people avoid him because he's doing something he doesn't want anyone to know about.
Or maybe he's just clueless. Which reminds me. Hey, Joe? Frank called while you're out in the garage. Said to remind you to pick up the basketball tickets.
Oh, shoot. I almost forgot. Thanks.
Sorry, Nancy. Where were we?
I'm sharing a room with a woman from Germany who's a journalist, which makes me kind of nervous.
Why does that make you nervous?
Because journalists are kind of like detectives. They're observant, they ask questions, they snoop.
And you're afraid she'll find out you're working for the GDIF.
Exactly.
Man, as long as you stay on your toes, the last thing anyone's going to think you are is an undercover cop. Trust me.
Want to know what my assignment is?
You bet.
I'm supposed to do surveillance on a guy named Antonio Fongo.
Surveillance? Wow.
The police suspect he has something to do with the thefts being attributed to the Phantom. They page me every time they see him go into his office so I can watch him through binoculars from the roof of the place where I'm staying and report in if he does anything suspicious.
So has he done anything suspicious?
If you call receiving messages carried by pigeons suspicious, then yes, he sure has.
He's using pigeons to communicate with someone? In this day and age?
Well, if he is up to something and thinks the police may be tapping his phone, which they are, it actually kind of makes sense.
It just sounds so...
Messy?
That's the word.
Margarita Faubourg, the woman who owns the place where I'm staying, is a little strange.
How so?
She spends most of her time on the roof, sunbathing.
Sunbathing? It's winter there, isn't it?
Exactly, although I must admit it is unseasonably warm out.
And maybe she's not so strange.
It just bothers me that whenever I need to do surveillance on Fongo from the roof, she's up there too. While I'm watching him, she could be watching me.
Relax. I'm sure the GDIF checked her out before they okayed your staying there.
Time to go play detective. Tell Joe I said hi, okay?
I'll let him know you called and tell him what you've been doing. Take care.
Bye.
I wish Frank and Joe were more in this game than that, but at least we get a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna read her postcards. You know, just looking for anything suspicious. She's thinking of dressing up as a cat for Carnival. The weather is wonderful, I'm thinking of you. Found the lovely car, and Friedrich can stay. Okay. That wasn't really helpful. Okay. Oh, right. I was trying to see if I can go ahead and grab bobby pins, and I can't. So, I can't skip a step, and I'm gonna have to go. Let me think about this. I'm gonna have to go... I guess I'll just go ahead and go to Campo Santa Maria Formosa, pick up the self-destructing tracker thing for the pigeon, and then try to get into Fango's office, which I won't be able to, but that's okay. Oh, one other thing that I forgot to mention is that you can find, like, coins on the ground by clicking, but there's none here, so. And here is the tracker. So that's good. It's a little tiny thing. If you miss it the first time, you'll have to call the GDIF lady and she'll send you somewhere else. Okay. You can also buy, like, clothes there or, like, a costume, which we'll need later. Okay, so... Campo San Polo. I guess this area opened up because, or unlocked because, Helena said that it was her favorite place. And also we'll have to go to Club Nikio later.
Looks like I'm going to have to pick this lock somehow.
Okay, so now I have to go back to the car and get the bobby pins.
È arrivato un detective. Giusto. Uno dell'FBI?
Oh, I also forgot that we need to put the tracker in something that the pigeon can eat. Ugh, I was hoping there would be one there. There's one at the Rialto Market. Basically, we need to get some of these. Some bird seed, I guess. I really want to find a coin. Okay, now we use the bobby pins. This is kind of, well, it's not annoying the first time you do it, but you have to do this puzzle every single time you want to get into his office, and it just becomes kind of why am I doing this? Why am I making this hard for myself? Okay. Okay, so let's do that. And put that in there. And you're also supposed to pay attention to what the pigeon looks like the color of its feet and neck, and how many stripes it has, because it's gonna fly away eventually, and we're gonna have to track it.
Oh my gosh, Bongo's coming back!
So, Fanga's coming back, we have to hide really quickly. You have to go in here.
Vieni qui, piccioncino, vieni. Vola.
Commedia dell'arte. So this is important. Basically, all we know now is that the thief who is seen at the crime scene is wearing a Brigella mask and has a black cape. So it's a Commedia dell'arte character, which I guess, I can't remember what Commedia dell'arte is, but there's information on it, in the book on Venice.
Looks like some cards are missing.
This is Scopa cards, which we'll learn about later. Very fun / frustrating sometimes card game. that we have to play. Let's see if there's... Oh, this is from Secret of the Scarlet... Or no, Secret of the Old Clock. Secret of the Old Clock. It's in Josiah's house. Okay. He has a computer. It's password protected. We don't know the password. There are chocolates here, which look similar to the chocolates at the Ka. So that's suspicious. I'm not gonna do that right now. It's just a little song. And also a clue for another puzzle later on.
I wonder what this says in English.
Computer Science. Masters of Computer Science. Applied Technologies. Some binary code, which I'm sure someone somewhere has translated that. He has a lot of brochures for expensive places. Okay, let's go track the pigeon. So to do that, we just click on the PDA and track, and then we go in the direction that it's telling us. So, southwest. And here are a lot of pigeons, and you're supposed to click on one that looks like the one that was at Fango's office. So, the one that was at Fango's office has a green neck, yellow feet, and one stripe. And it is this one right here.
Gotcha!
So you click on it and then you can...
Hello? What kind of message is that? I'd better call Sophia.
intercept the message.
Nancy, you have tracked the pigeon.
After it left Fongo's, it flew to Campo Santa Margarita. It landed right next to this place called Casa de Giochi.
Casa de Giochi. You are sure?
Yeah? Is something wrong?
Casa de Giochi is a private club owned by Enrico Tazza. The police suspect that he fences stolen goods for big criminals like Leo Macchiano. If Fongo is working for the Phantom, perhaps Tazza is working for him too. Look around the Casa de Giochi, Nancy. Talk to Tazza if you can. Get on his good side. See how much you can find out without making him suspicious. Was the pigeon carrying a message?
Yes, but all it says is hello in English, followed by an exclamation point.
There is a dot at the bottom of this exclamation point.
Yeah?
You must find a microscope and examine this dot, Nancy. If Fongo was sending a message to Tazza, maybe it's hidden there.
A microdot, of course. I'll do that. I'll find a microscope and take a look at it.
If I do not hear from you, you will hear from me.
A microdot. So we need to use Colin's microscope for that. Okay.
I can't read this.
Okay. House of Games. Casa de Giochi. Let's see if they'll let us in.
I see from the way you are dressed you are American. Who are you?
My name is Nancy Drew.
This is a private club. You cannot come in, sorry.
Well, that didn't work. Let's look around here.
Claudio, hai letto quell'articolo sul giornale riguardo questo fantasma nell'opera? Nel
No,
teatro
non
dell'opera?
leggo più i giornali, non è solito.
Rooting through the trash.
Mamma mia, cioè questo fantasma lo chiamano
Justin
fantasma.
Beaumont, a.k.a. Colin
È il
Baxter.
fantasma dell'opera.
Ah sì?
Hanno fatto anche un film.
What? While painting a fresco at the country home of Jonas Lundquist, Beaumont stole a painting by Renoir worth 7,500 euros. Or pounds. I don't know what sign that is. From Lundquist's private collection, the painting was recovered. Beaumont pleaded guilty, served 1 year at Asheville prison. Moved to Venice, Italy, works as a private contractor, creating and restoring frescoes and mosaics. Seen on at least one occasion playing cards with Pietro Mazzola, a black market art dealer, with ties to former Macchiano theft ring. To date, no other known infractions. Scotland Yard. Interesting. So he definitely is using a fake name. And he has a history of stealing art. This is Glory from Haunting, or the Haunted Carousel. And let's see if we can translate this. Casa de Giochi, attention Enrico Taza. Signor Taza, we have received your request for a temporary employee and recommend our star pupil, Samantha Quick. I understand you are currently involved in a project and will thereby send her your way sometime after Carnival so that you may recognize her. Samantha will be wearing a red dress, white gloves, black sunglasses, and has blonde hair. We will send you details on our Swiss account for payment at a later date. Okay, so Samantha Quick. The infamous Samantha
Looks
Quick.
like that's it.
This is Samantha Quick's first introduction into... Oh yeah, I found a coin. Into these games. Found another coin. Nice. Lots of coins here. Okay, so the reason why Nancy takes this is because we need to dress up like Samantha Quick to get into the club. So, we are going to need to go to Campo, Santa Maria Formosa. What's the fastest way to get here? And buy a red dress, white gloves, a blonde wig, and we need to get black sunglasses too. A red dress is 60, blonde wig is 40. What else do we need? White gloves, 5. Okay. If you buy all of the shoes here,
I need more money.
You get gosh, I can't talk. You get an award at the end of the game. If you buy everything here, you also get an award. That's very expensive. I have done it before. It just takes a long time. Okay, we can buy sunglasses here. Let's buy this too. This is the magazine that Helena works for. So let's see if she's written anything about anything. The Trial of Leo Macchiano, Part 5. The prosecution spent the first 2 weeks of what will undoubtedly prove to be one of the most... Okay, I don't know if I'm going to read all this. Basically, Leo Macchiano is a Venetian crime boss. And, his empire fell apart, buckling under the weight of the testimony, which his former minions unhappily surrendered. They had code names, which were like Roman Empire, or Roman emperors. Nero would have been his director of communications, the man in charge of distributing information within the organization. At first, Lacino appeared to be an expert at discerning who in the organization needed to know what and when they needed to know it, but as his testimony progressed and he was relentlessly bombarded with proof of his ties to Macchiano, it became clear that Lacino was merely following orders and that only Macchiano truly understood what had to be done when and by whom. Director of Research, computer hacker, Director of Distribution. So it seemed like he had a man to do each type of job. Oh wait, Enrico Tasso, where is it talking about him? But unlike previous witnesses, Tasso admitted nothing. He denied being Otho and said he'd never heard of Hadrian. But more important, the defense soon established that nothing Macchiano's gang had allegedly stolen was in Tazza's possession at the time of his arrest, nor was there any proof he had ever handled any of the stolen merchandise which the police had managed to recover. This made it perfectly obvious to the defense that Tazza was either the victim of a badly bungled police investigation or he was being purposefully and viciously framed, perhaps even both. It was just as obvious to the defense that if this could happen to a small-time card parlor owner like Tazza, it could certainly happen to a high-profile businessman like Leo Macchiano. Pummeling Tazza with blah blah blah, ties Macchiano's crime ring. But despite the onslaught, Tazza calmly and steadfastly maintained his innocence. Macchiano's guilt was suddenly less than irrefutable. His conviction no longer seemed inevitable. A seed of doubt had been planted, one which only Macchiano himself could nurture, and he could only do that from the witness box. Read the conclusion of the story in the next issue of Eurowelt. Okay, so Enrico Tazza. Fango's in his office, but we're too far away. We can try to make it though. Enrico Tazza is the guy who owns that club that we need to get into. And he was suspiciously involved, or thought to be involved, with the other crime ring. So he's definitely a suspect in our case.
Another package?
Il Dottore. Chocolates.
I want you both to know that I am very sorry if that American girl is bothering you. It was not my idea for her to stay here, believe you me.
Yikes, they're talking about me. I shouldn't listen.
She doesn't bother me.
Nor me. In fact, I rather like her.
But I'm going to anyway.
This is because she spends most of her time on the roof bothering me. She is always up there looking through binoculars. She says she is bird watching.
Bird watching? She doesn't strike me as a type.
I'm a bit of a bird watcher myself. Just this morning I saw a flock of ibises near San Giorgio.
I was trapped at a party once by a bird watcher named Red Knot. All he talked about was gross beaks and vocals and towels. I almost died of the boredom. Anyway, I apologize for the trouble she makes. If she bothers you, you tell me and I will tell her.
Oh, she's fine.
She's quite fine, actually.
If you change your mind, you know where to find me.
Yeah, Margarita really doesn't like Nancy. Red Knot, that's so funny. He's obviously a character from Ghost of Moon Lake, or Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. Why he is at a party in Venice, I have no idea, because he's like the most antisocial person ever. The pigeon.
This looks interesting.
He's sending another message? No. I don't think we're supposed to track the pigeon again. Oh, you can't even look at that. Yeah, I don't think.
Nancy, you have examined the dot?
Not yet. I just wanted to...
Please, Nancy, you must examine the message you took from that pigeon and look at it under a microscope. When you do, that is when you should call me.
Okay, microscope.
Hello,
Ask
Nancy.
him if he can use it.
Would it be okay if I used your microscope?
I have a very strict policy when it comes to my equipment. No one touches it but me. And now, you. I trust you, Nancy. Please, be my guest.
Oh, thank you.
Il Dottore requests you to change the safe room lock combination to 43556. Il Dottore. And there was a box of chocolates addressed to Il Dottore.
Hello, Nancy.
Do you know who that box of chocolates in the entryway is for?
No, I didn't really look at it because I assumed it was for you. It's not?
No, it's for someone named Il Dottore.
Oh, I was afraid... I assumed they were from that Lockett fellow of yours. Il Dottore? Wonder who that could be.
Do you live here at the Ca?
No, I have a room in a building on the other side of the Grand Canal. A very small room. But I spend so much time here and so little time there, I suppose technically I do live here.
What are you going to be for Carnivale this year?
Working, that's what I'm going to be. I haven't been invited to any festivities, which is just as well because I detest costumes. So to Carnivale, I say, bah humbug.
Does Margarita know that you went to prison in England for art theft?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Cullen?
My real name is Justin Beaumont.
He
2
cracks
years ago,
so
I
fast.
removed a Renoir from the private collection of a man to whom it was nothing more than a financial investment. I took it home so it would be appreciated as the masterpiece it was. Its former owner took issue with my actions. I was arrested, and I was sent to prison for a year. As for Margarita, she's the only one who knows. She says if I don't continue to work for her for next to nothing, she'll tell all her friends I have a criminal record, which would essentially end my career here in Venice, just like it ended my career back in England. If that were to happen, I'd be utterly lost.
How did Margarita find out?
I have no idea. She wouldn't tell me. What's worse, not only does she keep trying to get me to use substandard materials so she can save money on the renovations I'm doing for her, but she wants me to cover it up by lying to the Restoration Council about it. And for someone in my precarious position, let's just say resisting has been very, very difficult. Enough. I insist we change the subject.
I need to get going.
What's his name?
What's whose name?
The bloke who gave you that locket you're wearing.
Oh, Ned.
Goodbye, Nancy.
He's so creepy and weird. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's ask
So,
Helena.
I noticed someone got a box of chocolates. You perhaps? From a secret admirer?
They're not for me. They're for someone named Il Dottore.
I thought that was someone's special name for you. How disappointing. Especially since I was going to ask you if I could have a piece. I'm starving.
I read the article you wrote in Eurovelt magazine, the one about the Leo Macchiano trial.
That was one of 6 articles I wrote about the trial. I could have written 6 more, it was so fascinating.
What made it so fascinating?
The crime ring Macchiano ran. The more testimony I heard regarding its inner workings, the more impressed with it I became. Every heist was so well planned, and the role of everyone in his organization was so well delineated that Macchiano was the only one who knew who everyone was and what everyone did.
How did the police finally catch him?
One of his underlings cheated one of his underlings, who decided to get even by going to the police. Still, it took them 2 years to collect enough evidence to bring Macchiano to trial. And even though he was sent to prison, his conviction is being appealed and could eventually be overturned.
In the meantime, it looks like the void he left behind is being filled by this phantom thief guy.
Indeed. Macchiano always eliminated his competition, one way or the other. So this phantom, he is... How do you Americans put it?
He's making hay while the sun shines.
Ganz genau.
Does Leo Macchiano have a family?
He has a wife and 3 kids. Not that that makes him any less of a criminal.
Does he have any brothers?
Just 2 sisters. One lives in France, the other in Austria. If you're thinking that perhaps one of them is upholding the family tradition in the persona of Il Fantasma, that's extremely unlikely.
Is it possible that the Phantom is, or used to be, part of Macchiano's crime ring?
No. The Phantom is obviously an expert at what he does. He would have been very high up in the organization, in which case he would have been arrested along with everyone else, and that means he wouldn't be stealing art. He'd be stealing food from the prison kitchen.
What can you tell me about Enrico Tazza?
Well, he was rumored to have been in charge of safeguarding the goods Leo Macchiano's gang stole. Now that Macchiano's in jail, he's back to just being the owner of a local card parlor. Why do you ask?
I saw his name somewhere. All I remember is he sounded a little shady.
As they say, old habits die hard. Tazza could still be doing something illegal, but if he is, it would be small potatoes compared to what he was doing for Macchiano.
Do you have a Carnivale costume yet?
No, but I have been invited to several parties, so I'm definitely going to get one. I've got this strange urge to dress up as a cat.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
One.